Hello, New Lions. This is Victor Akiyame. I'm the resident director of Huntington Hall. If you're going to live in Huntington Hall this year, I look forward to meeting you and getting to spend time and getting to know you. If you're a new line and you don't live in Huntington, I'd love for you to still say hi. Obviously, in the time of COVID, we're all looking for connection with people. I'd love to be able to be part of your community or connection this year as you start your time here at Vanguard. So I look forward to meeting y'all. And it is unfortunate that we are doing orientation in this style, but it's still a blessing that we get to do orientation at all. So I look forward to hearing from you guys about how you grew to understand your role, your place, your understanding of Vanguard University just a little bit more over this weekend. You've been having to listen to some sort of conversation or discussion all weekend, right? And the reason I'm here to speak to you guys is to speak to you guys about conduct. We all have agreed to come to Vanguard. You guys have agreed to be students here. And that means you agree to live by the code of conduct that we have for all Vanguard students. So if you haven't yet, I would advise you all to go and read the code of conduct. It is key to understand that the code of conduct does not just apply to you on campus. So let's say something as common as the use of alcohol, right? You're not to use alcohol as a Vanguard student. There has been times in the past where students have said, but Victor, like I wasn't drinking on campus. Completely understand that, but because you are a student of Vanguard, if you're drinking on campus or off campus, those things will be treated the same if they're reported to the conduct office. So that being said, I would say get a hold of the code of conduct. You can find it online at myvu.com. Read it, understand it. And if you have any questions, ask your RA, ask your friends, ask us, your RDs, just so you don't run afoul of the law because of a lack of knowledge. Ignorance of the law doesn't give you permission to break the rules, and I would leave that there. So the first thing I want to kind of explain to you is what is conduct, right? So I think I speak for everybody who works in the residence life office when we say we don't want to be the punitive arm of the university. We love getting to spend time with you guys. We love getting to know you guys. We want you to know that we care about you. We don't necessarily want to spend all of our time sitting in conduct cases and then applying fines or other sanctions to you guys and have you guys think that like that's all we want to do or that's all we care about. That's actually not what we want to do. So the focus and the way we approach conduct here at Vanguard University is through a restorative justice model. And those are two big words essentially saying this. When we see somebody in the community break the rules, we want to help restore them to the community. And with that being said, like every response, that every sanction we give out, it's not prescriptive, right? So we don't sit down in the office and say, if you drink alcohol, then this will happen to you. We want to sit down with you. We want to spend time with you. We want to get your story. We want to know who you are. So then we could adjust and address these situations properly. We don't want to be the people who are just handing out huge punitive sanctions to people who don't deserve that, right? So restorative justice, we want to help restore you back to whole standing, correct standing in the community. So if you are, let's say you break quiet hours late at night, you come back, you're going a little stir crazy, you've been studying all day for a test, you get your test results, you find out you got an A, and you just decide, you know what, I'm going to bump the new Taylor Swift album. Folklore, great album, love it. Taylor Swift is back on track. So you decide, you know what, I'm going to bump that. You're bumping the new T Swift album. And then your hallmates are like, man, like it's 1 a.m. Like, what are you doing? So in that case, like restorative justice may mean asking you to write a letter of apology to your hallmates or your roommate. So we're going to try to meet the breaking of the conduct policy and conduct code with a proper restorative act, right? We're not going to just try to be punishing you guys because that isn't fun for us. And it eventually, obviously, doesn't teach you guys anything except for making you guys feel like we're just here to be the bad cops. So that's what the conduct arm at Vanguard is. Why do we have conduct? Why don't we just let everybody do what they want to do, right? And I think that's a fair question. The reason why we have conduct is multifaceted, but I think some of the things that stick out to me are when there are rules in a society, societies typically function better, right? And that's why, like, there are rules and laws now in America that weren't rules and laws in the past, because the country operated without them and then realized, oh, it's probably a good thing to have a speed limit out on the roads. There's too many people out here who are driving 100 miles per hour on the road. Let's have a speed limit and cap it at 70 miles per hour, right? That's a good rule. And it came about because people recognized, like, oh, we probably need to do this. Why do we have seatbelts? A lot of people were passing away in car accidents from not having seatbelts. And so the society adjusted and said, no, what, let's make this a law that you must wear a seatbelt. So we believe at Vanguard that it makes more sense. It is a more proper way to build up a community, to have rules and a code of conduct that align with our mission, vision, and values. Our values as a Christian institution will also say that we want to do the best we can to glorify God, right? And as much as we are humans who are going to fail each other and end up not glorifying God on a daily basis, we want to have at least some sort of boundaries that we could help have you young people operate within. If you may not know this, but as someone who is an employee of Vanguard University, I also agree to live my life in a certain way. And that may seem weird, it may not seem fair to you guys, but it makes sense that we would have that be the way we approach the world, we approach being employees and students and people who are functioning within the Vanguard society. And then lastly, I just want to talk about, like, our hopes for this process. I talked about a little bit with the restorative justice piece, but ultimately our hope is to see you guys grow in your understanding and grow in your self-knowledge and grow through any conduct situation you may come into. So I want to also preface this with, most of you guys will go your whole 4 years not having any conduct issue or very low level conduct issues, right? But if you do end up being in the conduct office, coming into the conduct process, I would ask that you just approach it with open arms and understanding and knowing that the people who work here want the best for you. Our hopes are to, one, restore you to the community, and two, bring some sort of self-knowledge and self-understanding to why you did those certain actions. I think conduct would be a pointless thing if we just restored you to the community and we failed to help lead you through a journey of self-education and evaluation. And I want to leave you guys with one last thing. This year, in the times of coronavirus, COVID-19, personal accountability is going to be essential. It's essential to us having a community here on campus of people who live and get to engage with each other in person. It's essential to us not spreading coronavirus within the community, right? So personal accountability, I would just ask that as you are going about your day, you are making decisions, not just based off of what you want to do, but based off of what is best for the community at large, right? There's going to be times throughout the semester where you are going to be tempted to leave a room without wearing a mask, or you're going to be tempted to go hang out with a group of friends and go to a place where you guys are all hanging out with masks. And ultimately, if those are the decisions you make, I won't be following you around 24 hours a day to tell you not to do those things. So there is a piece of you're now an adult. Most of y'all have turned 18 already. You guys are all adults. You are capable of making your own decisions. So this is the point in your lives when you start having to be accountable to yourself. You're no longer accountable to what mom and dad want you to do unless they're paying for Vanguard, and then you should probably get good grades. You have to be accountable to yourself, your peers, and ultimately to the Vanguard community. My hope and my vision for this year is us getting through the first semester relatively unharmed from the coronavirus entering into our community. But that can only happen if every single one of us acknowledges that we have to play our own part in this. So I know that has been 10, 15 minutes of me talking to a camera. You guys probably do not want to see me anymore. But if you do, come by the office, send me an email, victorakiyame@vanguard.edu. Look me up in your email. We could go get coffee. We could go get a socially distanced lunch. And I'd love to just get to know a little bit more about who you are and what your story is. Thank you, guys.